Welcome, gamers from around the globe. You've dropped into the best place for Game Pass news. That's right, it's the Game Pass Tracker Show. This is episode 131, recorded live Thursday, December 14th. I'm Nick Metzger, here with the best dang co-host a guy could ever have. That's right, I'm talking about Mr. Sean Abbott. This week, we're going to fill your brains with all those bits and bobs of Xbox, like we're going to chat about the Game Awards, our year in review, and what does being exclusive on Xbox even mean anymore? You better sit down, buckle up, because Game Pass news is one crazy ride.
Oh, diddly doodly, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to today's show, and I just want to welcome you all to your favorite Xbox Game Pass podcast, the Game Pass Tracker Show. You can find us on pretty much every social networking site out there. Everything is at Game Pass Tracker. If you have any thoughts, questions, don't hesitate to shoot us an email at show@gamepasstracker.com. That is show@gamepasstracker.com. If you're liking what you're hearing and you'd love to leave a review on your go-to podcast platform of platform of choice, that really helps us grow and reach more fans too. And we wouldn't be a Game Pass show without mentioning the big daddy itself, Xbox Game Pass. If you love Game Pass, you love our show, and you want to show your support, head to the link in the description and sign up to Game Pass within the next 24 hours from the xbox.com website. You'll not only be supporting us, the Game Pass Tracker family, and the Game Pass Tracker show, you'll also be signing up to the best game subscription going, Xbox Game Pass. So sign up to whatever level you desire, whether that be PC Game Pass Core or Game Pass Ultimate with all its perks and bits and pieces like that. Just play your own way by using the code in the chat and show notes. And you can help us continue to create the awesome content that we love to make for all you amazing fans. So without further ado, Nick, let's head into the Game Pass headlines.
Welcome to another Game Pass headlines, all the things we've been playing. We're going to get you up to date if you're not, and we're going to chat a little bit about what we got here, starting with the last week. I'm going to tell you, I played a little bit of this game. It's the clone drone in the danger zone. That's right, a robot voxel slice 'em up where any part of your body can be sliced off with your mind downloaded into a robot gladiator. You must survive the sinister trials of the arena, fight up to 15 players in the last bot standing, team up for online co-op, or face down the robot emperor in story mode. What they don't tell you here, folks, is story mode is roguelike. I feel like that's an important part that they kind of leave out. But there you go. That dropped December 5th. Available everywhere on Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, and the next game that came out also Tuesday, December 5th, was While the Iron is Hot. Step into the boots of a journeyman blacksmith on a quest to become a master and restore a ruined village along the way. The crafty adventure game sends players to the mysterious island of Elion, where the world's finest artisans dwell. While you might forge a few weapons on your journey, this isn't the kind of game where you wield them. The island's troubles can also be solved with your wits and crafting moxie. I haven't played any of this yet. It is up there with what I want to do, but I think you said last time we spoke about this, it was as much as it was a crafty style game, the crafting element was like a mixture of mini games.
Yeah. I mean, I have not played it yet. It's top down. It's a crafty game, but it's not. You're not fighting. You're trading. I don't know. It looks interesting, but it's one of those games that in a day of Game Pass where there's a ton of games like we're talking about, it got a little lost. So next, and actually I missed one on the list, Sean. I just realized this as I was looking down. So I will jump back. Same day. Just a game we missed. Rise of the Tomb Raider also came out December 5th. Also everywhere. Returning to Game Pass library, featuring epic high-octane action moments set in the most beautifully hostile environments on Earth. Rise of the Tomb Raider delivers a cinematic survival action adventure where you will join Lara Croft on her first tomb raiding Expedition.
Yep, this is an amazing game. Do not sleep on it. Get it played before it disappears back off the catalog of games on Game Pass, because it really is. I was a lover of the original Tomb Raider series, the whole just kind of on rails puzzle kind of thing. This one brings a whole different element of stealth and crafting and collectibles uh, alongside like quick time events, which done really, really well. It's a fantastically made game. So
It looks great. It looks really good.
it really is. And then the last game that came out on Tuesday, December 5th, was World War Z. Now, if you're a big fan of the film, which I am, the game boasts to have similar style, fast action gameplay, a heart-pounding co-op third-person shooter for up to 4 players featuring swarms of zombies based on the Paramount Pictures film World War Z. Focuses on fast-paced gameplay while exploring new storylines from around the world. But yeah, I've watched people play this, and I've watched several TikTok videos and YouTube videos of this game, and it looks insane. So if you were a big fan of the film, go and give this game a try, because you will not be disappointed by all accounts.
Nice. And next, finally, we're off of December 5th on to December 7th. Goat Simulator 3, also available everywhere. Pilgor's back. Gather your herd and venture forth into Goat Simulator 3, an all-new, totally realistic sandbox farmyard experience that puts you back in the hooves of no one's favorite female protagonist. And I hear you told me your kids are having a blast with this thing. Is that right?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, and I'll talk about that as we get into the dashboard section of the podcast. But yeah, my kids have absolutely, like, they were playing that this evening while I was out, and Lindsay was out too. They were being looked after by the eldest, and by all accounts, because when I turned the Xbox on, that's what they were doing. It was in split screen mode, couch co-op, and they just had a blast. Logan absolutely loves it. He's 6, and he soon got a grasp of the controls. So if you want a good sit down, like, couch co-op game just to play and laugh with the kids, up to, like, the eldest is 17, and she might have turned her nose up about it a little bit, but we played the original one together, and I can kind of see it in her eyes that she wants to play it too. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
and then we move on to Friday, December 8th, Against the Storm, a dark fantasy city builder where you must rebuild civilization in the face of apocalyptic rains. As a queen's viceroy, lead humans, beavers, lizards, foxes, and harpies to reclaim the wilderness and secure a future for civilization's last survivors.
December 8th.
I don't have much to. I'm going to say December. I don't have much to say about it. I haven't seen anything of it. I haven't played it. It hasn't been on my radar to play. So,
well, it's PC only, so you're out.
Ah, there we go. That's probably why I haven't seen it or tried. Never mind.
The one thing I do know, like it says, I think it said in there. No, it really doesn't. So the playthroughs can change each time. So, they say these are like replayable, but after a while, it's kind of all the same. But you can be on a map that only has certain resources. There's always a way to get the resources, but it may change. You might be able to mine for it, and the next map you play, maybe you can't mine for it. You have to trade for it instead. So there you go. That's the hook that I know of.
That adds an interesting element.
Yeah.
So if that's done very well, then yeah, I'd be interested in that.
Yeah, it could be really cool. And finally, we are on to this week. Last week was a banger, man. So many games. But this week is also pretty good. Tin Hearts Everywhere, Tuesday, December 12th. Embark on lemmings-like puzzles to relive the emotional and heartbreaking story of a genius inventor, Albert Butterworth. Spanning across 4 distinctive acts with 50 puzzles masterfully woven throughout a grand Victorian home, steadily uncover a variety of whimsical inventions with unique abilities to provide a safe route of passage for a troop of tin soldiers to travel. I have played about a couple hours of this. I'll give a little bit more. I've enjoyed my time with it, but like I said, it hasn't been super long so far. So, but I'll talk about it more in the dashboard.
Yep, it's currently installing alongside a massive Forza update and Far Cry 6. So it might be something I get to tomorrow morning. while I'm waiting for all the audio for you lovely people to churn back out and upload.
Nice.
So, and then the last game, December 14th, that's come out since we last made an episode, because we missed a week last week due to the Game Awards and the 4-hour stream that we did, is Far Cry 6. If you've played any of the Far Cry series, this kind of plays the same way, a bit of an updated graphics. And the story is apparently quite in depth. Lots of interesting DLC. If you're a fan of Stranger Things, they have a Stranger Things DLC, which is very good. So, welcome to Yara, a tropical paradise frozen in time, as the dictator of Yara, Anton Castillo, is intent on restoring his nation to its former glory by any means necessary. With his son Diego following in his bloody footsteps, their oppressive rule has ignited a revolution. Play as Danny Yoras, a local Yarian, as you fight alongside a modern-day guerrilla revolution to liberate Yara in this open-world, first-person action adventure. So, like I said, if you've played any of the others, this sounds like it'll probably play the same way, with the same kind of, go and liberate areas, build up the propaganda, but build up the morale in that area, kind of thing, that kind of deal, and overthrow outposts and stuff like that. So,
yeah, I'd like to try this one out. I think I'll get it downloaded tonight. When I'm not playing my cozy game, maybe I'll blow some shit up. Sounds like fun.
Couldn't be any more polar opposites of the games that you play
know.
sometimes.
I know. I put that on X. I was like, here's the two games I plan to play tomorrow: Pelea. I don't know how you say it. And Far Cry 6. Although I never got to Far Cry 6. Didn't have any time. But hey, that's how it goes. That's how it rolls sometimes. So that's what's out for this week. And next week, we got a whole big goose egg. Nothing so far. Nothing's been announced so far. Sean, do you think we got any games left in the tank for 2023?
No, I think they're going to be focusing now on the games that people have purchased as gifts for Christmas. So they're relying on that Christmas last minute purchases, people getting new consoles and then going through and signing up to Game Pass and downloading the digital games and stuff like that. I think they kind of want to have that gap, like a Christmas period gap. Could be wrong. That we could get a complete surprise drop with some kind of ABK stuff. Yes. And I could be eating my own words, but yeah.
You'd eat those words, wouldn't you? Happily.
Oh, yeah, I would. Yeah, I would eat them, regurgitate them, eat them again. Because if we got something like, could you imagine Christmas, like leading up to Christmas, and we get Crash Team Racing to play? Like, you could play that with the kids because it's a really good spin-off of Mario Kart, or I'm trying to think of any other like Activision games that should be fun to play while the kids are off school. Like, any Crash Bandicoot stuff, really. Tony Hawk's, you get that franchise, that'd be cool. And then for the older adults, a back catalogue of Call of Duty games. You imagine that just before Christmas to kind of like wet your whistle for everything that's coming soon.
Yep. I'm doing research on the fly, and I almost have an answer. Oh, Sean! December 15th, 2022 was the last game dropped on Game Pass last year. So, you know what? It lines up. I mean, it really lines up. December 14th is the last game dropped this year. I can tell you one thing. We went out with a bang this year because last year it was Rainbow Billy, the Curse of the Leviathan. So I'll take Far Cry 6. Not that that's not a great game. It was a fun indie game, but also 2 days before that was High on Life. So, you got that. So.
And High on Life was a good game.
That was
an interesting
it was real good.
game.
So I mean, if history plays out, you're probably spot on. You're probably not getting anything for the rest of this year.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that might not bring a game to Game Pass is they just got Baldur's Gate 3.
Yep.
So, yeah, they don't want to take shine away from that as they managed to acquire that on the to be played on the Xbox. So
there's a Christmas drop for you, Baldur's Gate 3 on Game Pass.
Would you play it?
I would play it. Would I finish it? Probably not. But would I play it? Yeah, definitely, for sure. I mean, it's game of the year. It's a game of the year. I almost said contender. It's a game of the year. So
I'm gonna say it actually got game of the year.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I'd have to give it a go. The only time I wouldn't give the game
I
of the
mean,
year a go if it was like a horror game, Resident Evil 8.
yeah.
Out.
And then I mean, we need to get something because it's a big gap. So we December 14th, Far Cry 6, nothing until February 2nd, 2024. So there's a huge gap to fill.
Yeah.
And Xbox have this really nice thing, and it's been like this ever since we started making podcasts. It did exactly the same when we were doing the Animal Crossing stuff. That we would make a podcast and we'd be like, oh yeah, there's nothing to talk about because there's no news, and then like we'd literally upload it, and within a couple of hours of it been uploading, or for us to have done the live stream when we started doing Game Pass news, something would come out and it'd be like, well,
yeah, that's accurate. Okay. For sure. All right. What's leaving, Sean? In a day, by the way.
In a day, yeah. So you don't have long to play these. Everywhere you've got Chained Echoes, Potion Craft, the Alchemist Simulator, Rubber Bandits. That's leaving from cloud, console, and PC. And then from PC alone, you've got Opus Magnum.
All right. Goodbye. Have fun. No tears shed here for those. But as I always say, if you're interested in any of these, you have till October 31st to beat them or buy them with a 20% discount with your Game Pass sub.
Yep, and that's a really good discount. My eldest has just bought the first Hellblade game for £3 something because she's worried that it'll disappear before she gets to finish it, and they used it in a really interesting way. She's doing psychology at college. And they didn't play any of the video footage, but they made all the kids wear headphones and then played the section of the game where Sense is having all the different voices talking to kind of simulate what it might feel like to have paranoid schizophrenia and stuff like that.
That professor's awesome. That's all I have to say.
It was really good. Like Jay was telling me, I was like, I wonder what game that was. And then like I got the email to say that she'd purchased Hellblade, and I was like, why have you bought that game? It's on Game Pass. And she's like, oh no, this is the game that they used in my lecture at college. And like I wanted to make sure I still had it when it comes off Game Pass because she's aware that the second one's coming out. So I was like, oh, interesting. So yeah, the 20% off works really well. So she got Hellblade for £3.46.
Nice. So. Very cool.
Also, remember, if you are looking for an up-to-date, clear-cut information on what's out there, what's coming, what's leaving, the best place to go is GamePassNews.com, or check out the Game Pass Tracker X page, because our social media team is pretty dope at getting all the information out there as it comes. So if there is a surprise drop and we miss telling you about it, they'll definitely back us up and tell you.
Amen. All right. So on to the X feed. All right,
I'm also
folks. What were you saying?
Sorry, I'm also noticing that I am getting really nasally, and my voice is starting to get deeper and deeper. So I'll apologize if by the end of this podcast I am like Barry White. Yeah,
man, it's the thing now, Sean. Everybody does a year in review. Like, it's just like you can't freaking sneeze without me getting a new email of a year in review, either Xbox, Nintendo, Spotify. I think I got one for Twitch just recently. I mean, everybody's freaking giving me one of these things.
Yeah, I got my year in review with Spotify. I'm just trying to find it now because it was unreal. Like, really, really unreal. I'm trying to see if I saved the images. I was like 84,000 minutes or something ridiculous like that.
Jeez, oh Friday, 84,000 minutes. That's a lot of well, I mean, yes, that's obviously a lot of minutes. Anyways, so for your Xbox though, how many hours of Xbox did you play?
Well, if you are looking at this as video on demand or a thumbnail anywhere, you will see that mine and Nick's year in reviews are part of the thumbnail for those things. And that was a really good stalling tactic until I could actually open up the picture that I saved. 400, 453 hours of gameplay. And you have to remember, in that 453 hours of gameplay with Xbox, I bought no games.
Nice.
Didn't purchase a single game. Or did I? Oh no, Hogwarts Legacy. But I didn't Hogwarts Legacy, but I did not play that for very long. So
that's funny. Or did I? I thought it was like a trick question. What do you think? Yeah. So you beat me out. I'm at 325. I did buy a game, the same game that you just mentioned, Hogwarts Legacy, but that is a lot of my time. 74 hours I think I put into Hogwarts Legacy. So so I cannot say that it's all Game Pass.
My game of the year, if you were to say the one that I play the most, was Forza Motorsport with 100 hours.
Mm-hmm. But that was also your game of the year, right? Did you choose that as your game of the year? I can't remember.
I did choose that as my game of the year. So
I chose it as my I chose Hogwarts as my game of the year. That's funny. I mean, I guess it makes sense. But yeah. So very.
But the thing for this, the thing for this though is that if say my playtime of Hogwarts was only like 20 to 25 hours, if the rest of that time, so it's like 420 hours of video gaming time, was done solely through Game Pass, and I don't think that you don't need another advert to say how beneficial Game Pass is, because if you think in that 12-month period, £110 to get 450 hours worth of gameplay, you don't get that from buying 2 games. So.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. I mean, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. These year in reviews probably are a little bit of advertisement for it and be like, oh yeah, I am. I mean, they're hoping that you're going to look at it and be like, oh wow, I did get my money's worth for that particular service. I definitely feel like I got my money's worth. Be like 250 hours for me in Game Pass. I don't think I played anything else. Any other non-Game Pass games other than Hogwarts Legacy. So, yeah.
I love the fact as well that Phil Spencer has put his up as well, which I thought was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
917 hours that guy played.
How?
Which, I mean, well, when you don't do well,
what are you gonna say?
That guy was all over the place this year.
You're right. That's what it is. He's freaking on the plane so much. He's flying here, going to see some team, flying there. You're probably right. That's it.
Yep. So
plus somebody's driving his ass around. Come on. He ain't driving himself. Like, he's getting in a truck. He's getting a car somewhere probably. Somebody takes him to work. Plays a little xCloud. Steam Deck probably.
Yeah. So 917 hours. 82 games, 82 different games he played in total, 382 achievements he popped. The game score increase of 6,856. So, he's had a good year.
He has.
and I love the fact that Xbox replied to his image with, "If work hard, play hard" was an image.
It was really good. Yeah, it was spot on for sure. Yeah. Phil's had a good year. If you're an Xbox fan, you own an Xbox, you love playing Xbox, you had a damn good year. Like, you had games to choose from. You could play something. There's something out there for you. So we are all winners here for sure. So
yep.
So that's
when I was talking to Lindsay. It's when I was talking to Lindsay about it last night, and I was like, 8.9% of my time for the entire year was taken up by playing just Xbox. She looked at me and she went, nearly 10% of your life for 2023 was just playing Xbox. I was like, oh yeah, pretty much.
You're like, I'm striving for a solid 10% next year, honey. Just so you know.
I'm aiming for 1,000. I have a goal for 1,000 hours next year.
You just want to beat Phil. That's what it is. Whatever Phil puts up, I want to beat it. Oh man, I'd
love to play an online game with Phil. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that would be fun. All right, so that's our year in review. This is something that I put up there because I thought this was kind of interesting. So, Disney addresses Xbox exclusivity question for Indiana Jones and Marvel's Blade. So, speaking to Axios this week, Disney's head of gaming, Sean Shoptaw, sorry if I slaughtered that, Sean, says, with Xbox still being one of the bigger marketplaces for games, we didn't even really feel like we were going to be overly exclusionary. We felt like it's still going to reach a broad set of folks, and we felt financially and strategically for the game that just made sense at the time. So, as I was thinking, I was like, as they ink these streaming deals. And now, they're obviously, when you say games coming to Xbox, it's likely coming to PC too. And it's like, really, when you say a game is exclusive to Xbox, how exclusive even is that at this point? I put Sean to sleep with this damn question. He's like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to bed. See you later.
we had a bad night with Logan the other night. Well, last night, and then it's been a very long evening. I'll talk about why it's been a long evening when we get to party chat. So it's just things are catching up ever so slightly.
I get it.
I don't fully understand how they're getting away with this. Everything that happened with the FTC and the CMA during ABK kind of screams to me that this kind of thing can't happen. Even if it's going to PC, it's only going to PC Game Pass. It and Xbox players with access to PC games. I can't see how they're getting away with this, if I'm completely honest.
I love that you're completely honest. See, I feel just the opposite. I'm like, great. I think it's awesome. Like, you want to play it on PC? You just get PC Game Pass. That's fine. It's all works out for you. Congratulations. I mean,
yeah, but the CMA and the FTC were really worried about them, like, basically owning the greatest share of a gaming subscription service. Like, they were a huge conglomerate for it.
That's
so
true.
Just having these games exclusively available to Xbox owners and free with Game Pass, doesn't that just scream exclusivity to that system?
Yeah, but it's not Activision Blizzard, so it's okay. It's just I don't know that it's okay.
Is that the loop? Is that then the loophole?
Oh yeah, totally.
Like, well, this isn't ABK. This is Bethesda. We already owned Bethesda. You didn't say we couldn't do that. I mean, what do they do? Do they take some of the people from the studio from ABK and work them into Bethesda a little bit and be like, well, we'll just come out as Bethesda? Like, it doesn't say Activision on the box. Screw you, FTC.
It's true. They own the company, right? They can just take Call of Duty and make it a Bethesda game. And just shift some people and be like, this is not an ABK game. I don't know what you're talking about.
You imagine the world would go absolutely nuts if it came. Hey, look, Bethesda. This year's Call of Duty has been worked on solely by Bethesda.
That would be
it's coming to Xbox only.
That would be the best worst thing ever. Oh my gosh. That would be a great day. That would be a great podcasting day. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I get it. Like, it's not going to be on Nintendo. It probably wouldn't have been anyways. But specifically, it's not going to be on PlayStation. Let's be honest. When you're talking about these games, unless they were going to be streaming versions on Nintendo, they weren't going to be there. But they definitely could have been on PlayStation, obviously. And now they're not.
I'm super excited, by the way, for the fact that Marvel's Blade with Arcane Studios and Bethesda is going to come to Game Pass day one. It was one of the games I was.
Do we know that for a fact?
Game Awards. It's rumored.
Okay.
I mean, Bethesda owns it, and Arcane Studios. Yeah. Anything they've done so far, I've always been day one to Game Pass. Looking at Redfall.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, that's gonna be awesome. Yeah. I was so excited during the Game Awards for it, especially like
you were.
It didn't look like Blade, and then like you kind of like you saw all the vampires, and then he stood up and he took the sword from it. And I was like, yep,
100%. So no, I find it kind of fun that you're shocked by it, and I'm kind of like, hey, it's barely an exclusive at this point. I mean, one system. If they break out the TV box or whatever, if they can get that sucker rolling, at that point it's like just get yourself a TV box, you can play it. You're good. Have a nice day. Don't worry about it. Simmer down, folk. It'll be okay. So there you go. So no, the answer is no. I already solved it for you. Starfield is working on new features, including, and these are much better than just eating. God bless the last update. City maps. Yes. Mod support. I don't really care, but I know a lot of people do. So there you go. All new ways of travel. Yes. So I am very excited about both of these. Why Starfield was
the
ever
city
released
maps.
without city maps, I have no idea. But
Yeah, I mean, all I do to get around in Starfield is I just fast travel from one place to another in the cities because you can't. There's no like way of zooming into that. It's so hard, and it's actually a complaint. This guy I work with, I'm gonna just call him Lewis for now. I go mountain biking with him.
Sure.
I shared my Discord Nitro code with him for 3 months for Game Pass. Gave that to him so he could play Starfield. He's loving it at the moment. He loves it but hates it, but loves it more than he hates it. Well, I think was the actual conversation we had this evening. But city maps was one thing he was concerned about, and I can now get to tell him, or he probably won't listen to this, but I'll tell him next time I see him, which will be Christmas morning, so it might make his Christmas morning. That he can soon be getting city maps. He's also excited for mod support because he wants the make Sarah Morgan better mod, apparently.
Yeah, I think it's cool. So if you were to guess all new ways of travel, what does that mean?
Some kind of like Mars rover style buggy.
That's what I see too. That's exactly what I see. Yep. I have like this ATV type thing in my head. No. I have no idea. I don't think they've said. If they have, I missed the article. All I know is they've said all new ways to travel.
The all new ways to travel, is that or some kind of hovering device, but that you can empty your inventory into?
Well, that would be
fantastic.
So
you don't have to be over. You could clear out an area and stick it all in there and then take that to the ship rather than trying to walk back to the ship slowly because you're overcome by weight.
Yeah. No, I really think so. The big complaint has been like, well, I had to walk for 13 minutes to find the next thing. This is stupid. Why'd you gotta be like that? So I think they really did hear that. Todd Howard said, we didn't think there was a need for any other type of travel. If I'm going to be completely honest, I do wonder with the way that you remember the big like blow up about how the screen had to load after so long. I do wonder if they purposefully kept vehicles out because they had to solve that screen load situation first, and they have figured out a way to get it to load in a correct manner or quick enough, and so now they're bringing in vehicles. But I am personally down for vehicles because I escorted some guy to a ship, and I just felt like I do feel like I walked too long. Like, give me a freaking vehicle so I can get there a bit faster. Like, and it wasn't even like an interesting escort, right? Like where I was like shooting a bunch of stuff, and no, I was just like, come on, buddy. I see the pit. Just keep going. Just keep coming with me. Yeah, we're almost there.
Just walk with me. A little bit further.
Yeah, that's pretty much all we did. So I'm down for vehicles. I think a dune buggy type thing, ATV type rovery thing would be fantastic.
Well, we shall see what they have in store for us when that drops. Or as we get closer to the time and they give some details, because patch notes always come out. So.
That's true. Next, E3's dead. Do we care?
Yes and no. E3 was like the gaming Christmas for me. So
that's for sure.
It was one of the things where we got stuff that was coming out soon, stuff that was coming out later in the year, stuff that we didn't know anything about that was in production. And that includes all the big consoles, so Nintendo, Sony, PC, and stuff like that. So it was kind of like the mecca of gaming for me every year. So yeah, I care that E3's gone. It's been replaced by like the showcases from the different consoles, all doing it at different days and different times. It's just a shame that it's not all in the same place at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, I have good memories of watching it and being like, "Oh, that's coming! Yes!" Like that's the part I love. But also, that's not E3 anymore. E3 is like this, thing on the deathbed with hospice there, and they're like, next year it's gonna be back and better than ever, baby. And you're like, no, you're dying. You're almost dead. And so it's
Well,
probably good.
COVID finished it off, didn't it? So the
Yeah,
inability for
kind of.
people to gather in one massive place kind of killed it off, and that then spun the console creators and the devs and stuff like that to do, your Idea Xbox, you had the Summer Showcase, you had the Bethesda Xbox showcase and stuff like that. Sony did their own thing. Nintendo was kind of like really quick to do their own thing, and the digital, like the live treehouse from satellite spots and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of took away from the fact that we don't need E3. We don't need a mass gathering of people playing these games. We can send these games out digitally to people to test and play live and just show that. And
Mm-hmm.
they don't need to hire a building. They don't need to pay for a booth at this place. So it's kind of like, yeah,
Yeah.
COVID kicked most companies into the modern world of making digital calls and stuff like that. So hey, that was great. But at the same time, you've taken away one of the biggest gaming conventions going. So
Yeah, I mean, it's true. It didn't really, it couldn't find a way to evolve with the times. You're 100% right. I mean, it started way back when as a way to sell games to box stores. Like, that you'd invite Kmart or Walmart or I don't know, Sam's Club, but they weren't around at the time. Whatever. Those JC Penney's, probably Sears. You'd invite them over to this thing and be like, "Hey, look at my game. How many units you want to buy? That'd be great." And then it became something a bit different. It evolved, as it should, into this other thing that was more of like a presentation, and then gamers for journalists to show stuff, and also for indies to be able to cut deals with bigger publishers, and that was great. And then it kind of evolved into like this gamer, I don't know if centric's the right thing, but this being inclusive of gamers and showing them what the thing was, and that was cool. And then it didn't evolve. And I don't know if they knew, I don't know if there was a way for it to evolve. Like, all good things come to an end. And maybe it was just time for that good thing to come to an end. Like, I don't actually know which way it evolves that makes sense for them and the developers and publishers. Like, Xbox is sitting there saying, yeah, I can send out a tweet and spend probably not that much money on a 1 hour like presentation that I'm going to upload to YouTube and set as a live, and I'm going to get a bazillion people to watch it. Why do I need to go and spend, who knows, probably thousands, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on your booth? That doesn't make sense.
Yep.
So,
I mean, and the other side of things for me as well is the people, like the signs, all the lighting, like the big. It's just, it's a sad thing to lose.
Mm-hmm,
but at the same time, we've gone in a direction now, especially for content creators like me and you who can't always make it to things like E3.
Sure.
We can now be there digitally live and cover it and react to it, which you'll be seeing a lot of from the Game Pass Tracker show in coming times. So
for sure,
we'll be covering most big events we'll be trying to cover as well. So not like the Game Awards was the start. Really?
Yep. We're only getting better, baby. That's what we're doing. All right. Well, E3's out to pasture. Summer Game Awards has kind of slid in there and become that thing. Not near as what E3 used to be, but it's there for you. What we need is somebody to make a calendar. Maybe we should try to do this. I don't know if we could do it, but like we need a calendar of, because that's the shitty thing, right? Like legit, there are times I will research stuff for the show like a couple of days before, and I'll be like, I didn't even know that thing had a like a presentation this week. Like I just didn't know that was a thing. Like, and so I think some stuff gets missed.
I think I know a guy that works quite well to do that, and he works within our little family of Game Pass and Game Pass Tracker and other bits and pieces like that. And that's Mr. Idle Sloth.
Yeah,
I reckon. I reckon he's got a good ear to the ground to be kind of coming up with those kind of things. So I was on Twitter, or X. Sorry, keep calling it Twitter. He's on X, so that might be a question that I might pose to him and be like, "Hey, look, is this coming forward? Would you ever, feel like making a content calendar to cover everything that's going on to make things like that a little bit easier to find?"
Sure. Would you be okay with ads for free Game Pass? Would you do free Game Pass? Would you do ads if you didn't have to pay for Game Pass?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I struggled with ads during Spotify. It kind of ruined it after like 3 or 4 songs. I like had this advert. It's like, why don't we listen to the radio anymore? I would like. So if I drive Lindsay's car, because like I have the new iPhone, so I've got USB-C. She's still on Lightning, so the cable that connects to her car for Apple Play, Apple CarPlay, and things like that, I don't have that. So like if I drive her car, I have to listen to the radio, and I'm like, I cannot deal with this. I can't deal with the kind of music that is currently on commercial radio, and B, I really can't stand listening to Big John from Karelia Cars trying to sell me cars all the time. So, I mean, I sat through the Thanksgiving game for you between the Green Bay Packers and
Sorry about
the Detroit Lions, and the amount of adverts that were in that live broadcast, I was like, wow.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, hey, you got to make your money. I agree. I at this point wouldn't see a need to spend money on that stuff. So I probably wouldn't. Or I mean, the money. That's not. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. I think the money I'm paying is worth it to not have ads at this point. But if you could not afford that, $10, $15, $10 or $16 a month, and ads saved you from having to do that, then I'm guessing Ultimate would not be in the ad free or like in the ad. Get it if you want more ads. You probably only get core, and you'd have to. How do you think the ads would be like placed?
Like, this is what I was just about to say. Is would it be that as your game is loading, you had to maybe watch a 30-second ad for something?
Probably. Every time you loaded up a Game Pass game, would it stop your game? Because they could do that, right? Like you could be playing, and they could any game that has, as long as it's not an online game, they could do a quick resume, right, and stop your game, make you watch a 30-second ad in the middle, and then quick resume you back into it. Ooh, that sounds awful.
Yeah,
that sounds
definitely.
awful. Ugh. I'm dirty just thinking about it. Yuck.
You need to wash your mouth out.
I know. That's exactly how I feel. No joke, man. But they could do that.
Right. Okay. So not calling game quick resume, which, you could still do it in quick resume. But if you load a game up, you get like, it goes from your dashboard to like the game artwork with Game Pass in the corner. Put a 30-second ad in there. Are people going to moan too much? No. People don't pay for YouTube Premium because they don't mind watching a 15 to 30-second ad before they watch whatever they're watching. The ads that really narc me with YouTube are the ones where you'll be watching the video and then all of a sudden it stops for an advert, and it's like, don't do that. Why do that? I don't mind the ones at the beginning, but the ones throughout, not a big fan of. So you'd have to place it really well. You couldn't get somebody really immersed in a game and then break it off and giving them an advert for My Little Pony or something silly like that.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. Like Bruce says, ads before streaming would be sad. I think it would be sad, but I agree with you, Sean, that having ads during would be the worst. Like if you stop my game to play like what, every hour or something like that. If I play for an hour, you stop my play and you make me watch an ad. Ugh, awful. But again, I say that, but if that is the only way that you can afford Game Pass, is it better than not having Game Pass? Probably, I would say. So,
and then the other side of it is how Xbox needs to look at how they monetize that. So how often do people need to see the ads? For how long do they need to see the ads? For them to make it worth actually, giving people Game Pass for nothing.
Yeah. That's a big giveaway for sure. It's an interesting concept. I bet. I
Yeah,
wonder if they make more
and
money.
Bruce is hitting the nail on the head. I think it's okay to trial this, but I can't see the trial going very well. I can see subscription numbers dropping. So, like he says, he would leave Game Pass if it had ads. So
Yeah, I would find it interesting to know what people would think. But again, you wouldn't really know what you'd think until you could get a real feel for what it looked like, right? Like we're just guessing.
yeah,
So but I agree with you. If you said I could have core, I mean I have ultimate, so I really want to keep ultimate. If you said I could have ultimate free if I watched a minute ad before I started my game, but I would not have ads during my game, I don't know, man. I might take that on. That's not the worst
yeah.
thing in
I
the
mean,
world.
what you could be doing for that 1 minute is pouring tea.
Yeah.
You could be gathering biscuits, or
Yes.
cookies. Speaking your language. So you could be gathering those kind of things in that minute. You go, I want to play this. I'll go down. I'll set this game like loading, like you would do in previous if you had to put a CD into an old,
Right.
or load it up off the 3.5-inch floppy. You'd have to load that game up. So you go down, you set it going, you walk back off, and you come back to it when it's done. It's like old dial-up.
Yeah.
Just with games.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this trial goes. Be interesting to see what Xbox actually ends up doing. Next story. Free Radical Studio closes just 2 years after Embracer brought them back. That Embracer deal isn't looking so hot anymore for all these different studios, and I feel bad for him. Like I don't want to be a jerk about it and be like, "Ha, look what happened." But man, Embracer was like all the stuff not but a year ago, and now we keep getting word of like Embracer shutting down stuff. So it's a bummer to see him go.
And it is a bummer to see go, and I can't see why Free Radical wouldn't be picked up by anybody. Time Splitters was a fantastic game, and they had quite a good run with that, especially. So, yeah, I can't see why somebody wouldn't pick that up. Which somebody might. It might sleep for a while, or we might not hear news. They might not be able to say news if they're signing non-disclaimers for somebody that's buying out the company to help them carry on. But yeah, it's a sad day.
Yep. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, it wasn't but September 30th that Embracer shut down Volition. So the Dead Island 2 Saints Row peeps. So
yeah, and they're big games too. We got rid of as well, Dead Island and Saints Row.
Yep, for sure. So, yeah, there's a lot there. We do not have any news bulletins for this week, but we do got a feature story, folks. That's right. It's the Game Awards. We're going to be chatting about the Game Awards. Tell me, Sean, what was your top 3 games, or what do you want to say? I just threw this out here. I just made this question just to confuse you. Your top 3 games from the Game Awards that was showing off, of course.
Okay, so I'm going to categorize this. These aren't just single games. So the whole entire Sega announcement. Yes.
Okay,
I am so fair. All over that. Crazy Taxi, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Jet Set Radio, of course, because I absolutely love that game. So those 3 games, that selection of games being remastered and hopefully coming to Game Pass day one, just be amazing. Blade, for sure. Massive fan of all the films, but most predominantly the first film. Wesley Snipes was absolutely awesome in that. So the idea of being able to play the Daywalker and go slay vampires and things like that, and have that badass, kind of attitude in a game would be fantastic. And then the last one is Jurassic Park Survival.
That did look kind of fun.
Without a doubt. Going back to the first Jurassic Park film, and playing as somebody that was left behind, especially if you've got some form of character created, creation as well, so you can make them look like it's you that's been left behind on the island, and then have to go through a survival of hiding and hopefully foraging for food and supplies and stuff like that. So because we didn't get to see a lot, but yeah, the whole kitchen scene was just amazing. I was that's they are my three.
So the game isn't really my general cup of tea, but I'm very interested because it's Moon Studios. So I'm gonna go No Rest for the Wicked. I am I want to see what they're gonna do with that. I mean, Moon Studios did so good with Ori. I just think that something amazing is gonna come out of that. Um, this is the stupidest thing in the world, Sean, but really it's one of my most excited moments that wasn't like something we figured we'd see like Hellblade 2 or something like that. World of Goo 2. Really like if you wanted to be like the thing that would just like Sega's up there too, but I was trying to think of some other stuff that I knew you wouldn't or that you're not saying. So World of Goo was just like, man, that wasn't the first mobile game I played, but it was one of the first that I was just like, I just really liked it. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what World of Goo comes out. And this one again is because it does look awesome, but also Finji's usual June. So those are the three that are top of my list.
Yeah, the thing with the Moon Studios and Finji's is I loved Ori and I loved Tunic.
Yep.
Like I could not sing their praises more than enough. They're big games to top, and I didn't fully get the feeling of that from what we saw. So I need to see more
Yeah.
and spend some time with it. So that's the only reason why those two didn't make it in. Because if you look back at the whole entire show for our reaction and stuff, everything in the live show, I talked about looking like I'd enjoy those, but they haven't hit my top three because of that. It's a hard act to follow. Ori, both Will of the Wisps, and I can't remember the name of the other one.
Ori,
anyway.
Yeah, it's not there. Blind Forest. Blind Forest?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
I thought it was something Forest, but I couldn't. Mm-hmm. So they were huge Metroidvania games. Absolutely enjoyed those. And obviously Tunic was a fantastic, like, complete genre-breaking game. So there's a lot of work to do for them to be bringing me into like really, really loving them. So
Yep. Now, my game that is not on here because I'm nervous that it's going to be pretty rough coming out is Light No Fire. But if there's a game that I am super pumped about, Light No Fire is it. That's the No Man's Sky people, in a real Earth kind of full open world, big mountains. I mean, it's that game that almost, as a gamer who's been around long enough, you just kind of, you're like, yeah, I've heard of these things before, and they're never quite what, like, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but it's never quite there. And so, yeah, I want to see more. Was it, I think it was Sid Meier's Alpha, was it Alpha Centauri? No. What? Maybe it was. What was there? Sid Meier had a game, I thought, that was like you were going to colonize all these different like cosmos and galaxies, and it just ended up not being what they thought it was going to be. And I can't think of it. Somebody out there knows what it is.
I mean, I'm just looking through the list of these things. Untitled Goose Game developers bring in a game called The Big Walk.
I can't wait to see more about that.
Yeah, that's again, it is something I want to see. And then Outlast, the creators of Outlast bring in the Outlast Trails, coming March 2024. That game looks scary as hell in the trailers. So yeah, there was lots. There was absolutely lots. Xbox did well to walk away with the awards that they walked away with. So, Forza
Yeah.
Motorsport getting innovation accessibility. You got Hi-Fi Rush, getting, I've just seen it, best audio design. What was it? The other one. Oh, I made a list of these and now I'm struggling to go through my own list. Nope. Anyway, can't find.
Yeah, it was it was a good showing for trailers. A mediocre to meh showing for awards for Xbox. I don't think they really I think they had expected to do a whole heck of a lot better with Redfall and Starfield. And that is a pretty big miss that Starfield walked away with nothing, I believe, right? They didn't get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the size of the game and the amount of hype that's behind it. But then also they missed the bus with the date and they damaged themselves with not releasing when they said they would release. I don't know. I think Xbox have walked away from things like Redfall and Starfield with a pretty good lesson learned in terms of let's not make that kind of mistake again.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. I think there's an expectation issue really with Starfield more than anything, and part of it would be hard for Bethesda to even control. I mean, there's this expectation of Bethesda to give you this massive open world game that lets you roam around, and it's a massive game like that. I can't argue that, but it's in bite-sized chunks that don't feel massive. And I think that it's not anything they even did. It's just more of who they were. I don't know if they are, but who they're known to be and what that game was. And it's not what gamers expected. And maybe even reviewers, like I don't mean to be harsh here, but even maybe reviewers were a little boxed in by what they had in their minds and what they played. So,
yeah. I'm surprised that you didn't say anything about Skull and Bones as well. Finally getting a February 2024.
Woo! I'll say something about Skull and Bones, Sean. I will be Skull and Bones before Skull and Bones actually comes out. I bet it doesn't even hit its February 24th date. I've given up on
it. This is so bad. But hats off to Baldur's Gate 3, by the way. We haven't played it yet. Nick is on the fence. He's been watching. Unfortunately, his X feed was just filled with.
I'll just say it. Stop showing me Baldur's Gate boobs, okay? I don't care. I don't need to see them. I don't know who you people are that think they need to see these things. I don't need to see them, okay? We just dropped 4 viewers because of this conversation. I'm pretty sure.
Boob is Gate 3.
Yeah. So. No, but I mean, it looks like it's a game of the year. Like, you always want to play the game of the year just because, right? Like, I don't know. At least I do. And so I might jump on this fence. Jump on this fence? Bandwagon.
Jump over the fence. Jump on this bandwagon by hopping over the fence. How many different metaphors can we get in there?
I'm going to burn this bridge when I cross it. That's what I'm going to do.
You're going to hop the fence to see if the grass is greener and then jump on the bandwagon and burn the bridge as you go across it. Wow.
Hey, man. I love it. Let's do it. Welcome to Game Pass Tracker Show, peeps. What did you think? So there's been a big hoopla about the amount of awards to the amount of trailers. What'd you think?
I think it shied away from being about awards. I think it was more about they gave too much time to things to me that weren't necessarily needed to have that too much time. I mean, the fact that you had, I can't remember the guy's name, but he came up and he was like, I can't make a long speech. I wanted to do a speech that was longer than 7 minutes 59, but I've been told I can't. It's like, why is the crew around the Game Awards silencing people? I mean, there was a guy up there that was trying to advocate for men's mental health about people not talking, and they were playing the music over the top of the guy advocating for it, and it was just like, this is disgusting. We live in a current time where the break for men's mental health is coming through in a really strong way, but it's still not being listened to properly. And then you've got somebody literally on stage in front of a huge audience of millions of people watching it live, and a huge live audience of people out there with some big names, and you're playing the music really loud over the top of him trying to advocate for that. There was a lot of things that didn't see right. The whole Gonzo skit with the Muppets being in there, I didn't fully understand. I get that there's a history with Jeff Keighley and Gonzo and the Muppets and stuff like that, but I didn't fully understand why that then had to be there. And then the whole Baldur's Gate 3 thing, we came away from that at the 8 Game Awards like, there's absolutely no mention of Baldur's Gate 3 because they ended the whole shebang of the Game Awards going on about somebody, obviously, unfortunately, somebody passing away, and they couldn't be there because of it. But because they ran out of time, because they were talking about all that, they Xbox missed the timing to tell everybody that Baldur's Gate 3 was now available.
Yeah, that one, there's a story, obviously, to that. I mean, that doesn't make any sense at all. Like, I mean, why would Xbox not be like, hey, Jeff, we're here. Why don't you just announce this? Or I don't know. Something doesn't make sense here. There was a missed opportunity, to say the least, and I don't know who it's on, but who missed that opportunity. If it was set up and Jeff's crew missed it, or if Xbox missed it, or if it was the Baldur's Gate crew that was supposed to announce it. And I mean, certainly, if it shouldn't, to be fair, it shouldn't be on the Baldur's Gate crew. So if that was the case, it shouldn't be on them. Like, this is their time to celebrate their achievement. Like, it shouldn't be on them to be like, also, right now, for $9.99, you can get that new thing and blah, 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 blah. No, that's not what they're there for. So that shouldn't be their shtick. That should be either Jeff, who is, trying to put a spotlight on the industry, but also sell games and also make money with ads and stuff. So that should be on him or Xbox. I mean, but something got missed, no doubt.
Yeah, it could have been, the timing wise, it could have been handled better. Rather than just making it a 4-hour thing, push to a 5-hour thing, give people the time to say thank you for it and stuff like that, and rather than rushing them through. Don't have big names like you had Matthew McConaughey come out, and like he was given the freedom and the time to talk and describe things in depth about what he was doing and stuff like that. It's like, that's fine. You've got a great actor, a big name in Hollywood on there because he's doing a big part of the game, which I didn't quite understand which part he was voicing in the game.
I know, so right? I was
expecting to see more of the like of his voice, but I fail to see why you could give a big Hollywood star more time than the actual developer of the game, who've just won this award and are really outstanding for being there. You've chosen their game, and they haven't got the time to stand there and say thank you for it. And it was just a bit weird. It was like, I didn't want to say anything while we were watching it because obviously you don't want to spark. We didn't want to spark a huge discussion while we were watching it and overshadow the fact. Then us talk over the games and stuff like that. But yeah, I came away from that thinking, things could have been done differently.
Yeah, I agree. Now, to be fair, Jeff did come out with a post from X. I think it was a day or two after that said, "Hey, I also think they didn't have the time that they should have had." So I'm sure there will be some changes made next year. But it's difficult because he is doing a Game Awards, but to put on this big presentation, he needs money. He's obviously running a business. He's trying to make some money for himself. So how many people would show up if it was just a bunch of awards handed out? I wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, and if there's not near the eyes on the thing, then he's not making as much money. He can't do as much. He can't bring the glitz and the glamour and the where he's going to be. So he's in a tough spot. You can, I heard a bunch of people saying, "Hey, this should be, all these world premieres should be at the end." And well, yeah, that'd be great. It'd be great if commercials were always at the end of a show, but there's a reason they're not there, because then nobody'd stick around for him. Nobody'd see him. That doesn't make any sense. So, that's not going to be how it works. They might need to ratio that out a little bit. I cut all the world premieres out of the Game Awards for a video I did for YouTube. You can search Game Pass Tracker. I think it's just the Game Pass Tracker. Game Pass Tracker on YouTube if you want to just watch the world premieres. It was an hour and 26 minutes. So it took up an hour and 26 minutes of a 3 hour and 30-minute show. Is that what it was, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That's a lot of world premieres, but that's a lot of other stuff too.
Yeah, 50-50. Nearly. An hour and a half. Half the time was spent watching world premieres and half the time was spent watching orchestra, people saying thank you.
Yeah.
And Sidney Williams talking stuff.
Yeah, and there was three longer songs too that probably took up 12, 15 minutes. So yeah. Anything else on the Game Awards?
No. I would like to have seen more awards given in terms of people coming up rather than just lists of names on the screen. So.
Yep.
Especially for the esports world and content creation and stuff like that, having those people come up and actually put a face to the name would have been nice.
It's funny how many content creators there are, right? Like we're in the gig, we're doing this, we're a very small corner of the content creator world. For now, yeah, that's right. For now, before you know it, our name's going to be on there, Jeff. So watch out. But like there's all these people, and I'm like, I think I know one of them. It's just fun. It's just interesting. So kudos to all of them. I mean, heck, even getting nominated is huge.
Going forwards, I think esports. I think you've got like the face of like David Beckham currently helping out in esports and racing sim sports and stuff like that. So I have a feeling that esports might come away from the Game Awards and go more towards their own kind of.
That would make sense, really.
Which would be nice, and I would watch that. I like watching a couple of esports tournaments and stuff like that. I do catch up on that on YouTube, especially the racing ones. I really enjoy those. So having an award ceremony for those would be quite interesting.
Yeah, I could see that. Anything else before we go to the dashboard, sir?
No, let's go talk about some games we have been playing.
Dashboard it is. And it's the dashboard. Games we've been playing, games we're going to play, and, well, that's it. That's really what it is. So what have you been playing, Sean? I was trying to get a third thing in there, but it wasn't there.
So, yeah, I didn't want to mention this when we were talking about the Game Awards, but I was really excited that they announced that Finals was there and available to play. It was debuting in the Game Awards. I am absolutely loving that game. It's awesome. I like the character customization. I like the character selection. I like the weapons selection. I like the music. I like the loading sequence. I like the gameplay. I like the narrative voiceover that's in there, like a game show host style narrative voiceover. I like everything about it. The only thing I don't like about it is I'm not good at it yet. So no, it's good. The character selection stuff, there is no bald for it. That's fair enough. I get that a lot in games. But I've made my character how I like them. I picked the weapon class that I like. I use the medium class out of, you get a choice between heavyweight, lightweight, and medium weight. Lightweight, obviously, a lot quicker on the feet, can traverse the level a lot better. The heavyweight hits harder, takes more damage, slower on foot, but they all have different abilities and stuff like that. But I decided to use the medium weight one. The fully destructive environment is hilarious. Makes for some fantastic gameplay strategies. Literally played a game before we started recording this evening, and I've learned through TikTok that fire in the finals always goes up. So if you start a fire at the bottom of a building and the vault is like 2 or 3 floors up, what it will eventually do is set fire to all the floors. So if you've got a team that's in a room on the top floor and it's quite hard to get into them. If you set a fire below them, it will burn them and set fire to that room that they're in, which then eliminates the team. So it just all makes for some really crazy like tactics. And if you work together as well with a team, you can launch a goo container in, or somebody throws a goo grenade in, and it goos the room up. The goo you can then set fire to the goo if somebody's got an incendiary grenade and stuff like that. It just it adds a lot of different like elements to it. And
Nice.
the fact that there's no blood and stuff like that is nice as well. So like people pop in, like when you're shooting them and you get the hit marker thing, like coins pop out of them. So but when I say the loading sequence, so you select your character, you customize them, you go into play, you pick your game mode, and then it kind of like does this little like countdown introduction thing, and then it goes through. So the jet setters, the underdogs, and this team, because it's 3 teams each time in one arena. It kind of goes from doing that to then watching your team run through this screen, and then boom, you're straight into the game, and it's like, wow, there was like I have no loading screen. It was just
that's awesome.
3, 2, 1. Like awesome hype up, like commentary kind of introduction, and then boom, straight into game. It's like, wow, they've done that really, really well. So hats off to them. It's a great game. Go and try it if you like fast-paced first-person shooters with an element of like traversing rooftops and blowing everything up. Great game.
You finding matches pretty quick, getting into games pretty easy?
Yep, within the only issue I've got is with quick resume. So like if you use quick resume, you might have to dashboard the game to go back into it. But that's something that we've experienced before with quick zoom and free-to-play games.
Online games are like that.
Yeah. So that's the other thing. But that doesn't take long either. It doesn't take long to get into the game from loading it up from fresh. So
cool.
Very good. The other game that I've been playing is Goat Simulator 3. I enjoyed the first one. So I fired this one up. I love how it starts. It's got like there's so many Easter eggs in this game. It's unreal. And the game starts like Skyrim. You're in the back of this farmer's truck, or this like you're in this trailer which is attached to his tractor. He's talking away, and you can look around, and it literally says, "Oh, hi, you're awake. You're finally awake," just like Skyrim.
That's hilarious.
I was like, this is hilarious. And you sat there with like loads of other goats. It makes lots of references to the first game about like how like you did loads of different crazy stuff. You even ended up in space, things like that. And then as you're going around and playing different things, there's just nods to all different kinds of games. Like at one point you can launch a nuclear bomb from a watchtower into the middle of this village, and then you go up and explode it. And because you've done that, you then get like a vault jacket from Fallout. And every time you then go near it, it goes to like the grayscale of Fallout and stuff like that. So there's just lots of stuff to do in it. The kids are absolutely loving it. Logan is in his hysterics when he's playing it. He likes to be the shark, and he just literally, as he's playing it, he's sat there going, nom, 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 nom. Chases things around. He's loving it. So, and so is Emily. Emily liked the first one a lot. She's finding it hilarious. And she's more focused now on the tasks. So she's more task focused. So like if something pops up that you're nearby it and it'll say, do this, she will do it and figure it out. So,
and they can all do their own thing, right? Like Logan can goof off and she can do the tasks.
Yep.
Cool.
So you can be completely opposite ends of the map. You don't really interfere with each other, or you can be right next to each other and stuff like that. It's a 4-player split screen, 4-player online multiplayer. Cool. It's good. It's good fun. If you liked the first one and you like that whole ragdoll kind of messing around sort of thing, you'll definitely enjoy this one. And I'm glad it's finally come to Game Pass, because it hadn't for a while. So.
Nice.
And then the last thing I've been playing isn't Xbox related. It's Nintendo related. The Mario Kart 8, the final expansion bundle, have arrived, and so I've been playing that just kind of handheld when I haven't had time to the PC.
Gotcha. Well, for me, I have been plugging away on Minecraft with the kiddos. We're getting a little, I'm not gonna lie, I think we're hitting, even I am starting to hit my wall of Minecraft. I'm realizing exactly how difficult it is to get like to the end with finding the eyes and doing the stuff, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know. And I haven't found the blaze, and I've been digging all around the nether trying to find this blaze. I got to find this castle, and I'm like, oh, I too am kind of finding, I'm finding my limit of Minecraft, I think. Loving the game, having a good time with it, but the idea of finding the end seems just like too much work at this point. I'll probably come back to it. I might come back to it at some point. But anyway, so that's my Minecraft journey at the point. I did tell you that I found the nether. I found obsidian finally, right?
Yeah, you did. You sent me the picture.
Okay, yeah. I think I told the podcast people that too. I found obsidian. We got into the nether. We made it that far, but man, now it seems like a real slog. SteamWorld Build. So this game really evolves into a real-time strategy game. I'm not going to lie. I was a little blown away. I mean, you're kind of running your guys around. The first level of the mine seems real easy, and because it is real easy, you're just kind of digging away. You're like, okay, I get this. This is pretty simple. The city builder side of it is fun. It is fun, but it's not deep city build strategy. Like, I mean, it's just like, keep your levels right. If you're running out of this, then build more of that. And it just, okay. If you know city build strategy at all, you're going to find this pretty easy. But then when you start adding this to the keep track of the city build strategy with the make sure you have the stuff in the mine strategy, with the strategy of making sure you're digging in the right places in the mine, with the fact that now I'm fighting these things in the next level of the mine, all of a sudden you got yourself a real game. Like, you got yourself a real game, and you're enjoying it, and you're trying to flip back and forth to make sure the town's doing the thing they're supposed to do, make sure the resources are coming from the mine, make sure you're not being attacked too much from the baddies. And it's like, okay, you're just kind of going back and forth, and it's just verticality of this game and making sure that all the things are ticking the boxes. And so all of a sudden you realize exactly why the city building strategy is not too in depth, because if it was, there'd be no way you could handle that plus all these other aspects of the game. So it's really taken on a life of its own. I haven't played it in a while, but it's a fun game. So it kind of melds city building strategy, or building strategy with real-time strategy, and it's a good mix of genres. Coral Island, the next thing I've been playing. Y'all know I'm on this journey with Coral Island as well. They had another update. The museum is now open. You can play it. Also, I crash about twice every 30 minutes, so I am not playing Coral Island anymore until the next update, which hopefully fix some of these crashes. So there you go. Man, the game that it could have been.
You're heavy into that as well. Like, you're in the Discord, you're hitting up the developers on X. So
not gonna lie, I'm no longer in the Discord. This last one really got me. It really did. Like, I was waiting for this update, hoping it would fix a bunch of problems. And as I think I told Sean, it did fix the museum. Either the updates are causing new problems, or the further you get in the game, the more problems start to arise. Not sure which one it is. But, like, I used to be able to play 3 or 4 days without a crash. I can now not play a day without a crash. And there is no way to save except to get to the end of a day. So that makes my game very frustrating, to say the least. But I do want to say, I don't want to shit all over these developers. Stairway Games is doing hard work to get this game where it needs to be. I know they are. They're being very transparent on their Discord. They're telling everybody exactly what's going on, what they're working on, why they're working on it. So I do appreciate all the stuff they're doing to make that game not only playable, but great, because it's got the potential to be absolutely great. Next and last out this week, Tin Hearts. Played Tin Hearts. This is, they call it a Lemmings-like. I can see that. I would call it an environmental puzzler. You got these little tin soldiers. They only go in one direction. They go in that direction until they hit a block that you place. Then they go in a different direction. You have to get them to unlock these blueprints, and then ultimately get them into the door, which sets them free. And as you start getting further into the game, once you set them free, you start unlocking story beat of Albert Butterworth, the inventor, and it's kind of touching. You get to see him with his daughter. So if you're a parent or a dad, it kind of gives you some feels. Not gonna lie, and it's an interesting concept. I've played through about 5 puzzles. I was telling Sean initially it was like, these are easy, no big deal. But then I played the full tutorial. You do have the opportunity to play just like a 5-minute tutorial, but I played the full, what they say, 20-minute tutorial. So by the time I got to the 5th one, all of a sudden I'm sending them. Now not only am I placing these blocks on pegs, predetermined pegs, now I can place these blocks wherever I want. And so all of a sudden things start to get a little bit more free range. You start to feel like you're really doing your own thing and trying to find your own solution to these programs or to these problems. So it was good. Those are the 4 games I've been playing. I got Far Cry on deck. I'm playing a Nintendo game called Palia, which I don't say I'm absolutely loving, but so far is turning out pretty good. Might be my Coral Island substitute. And that's it. And I'm gonna meditate on getting Baldur's Gate. I didn't even mean for that to rhyme, but howbeit it did. What about you, Sean? What's on deck?
Far Cry 6 and Tin Hats, and then continue with the finals and I've got two other games. I need to start Forza Motorsport, which I've got 2 weeks off now. Literally go back to work Christmas Day. And then there was another one. Tomb Raider. I want to go back for Tomb Raider.
Cool. All right. Anything else before we go to the party chat?
Nope. Let's go chat some parties.
It's party time! Woohoo! Oh, yeah!
And we are in the party chat, the time where we chat with you guys and you guys chat with us, and there's just a lot of chatting going on.
There is.
So, Sean, how you been, man?
Yeah, I've been good. Busy. Yeah, busy. Work's, they say, finished work. We've been Christmas shopping. Been keeping an eye on 2 tricksy little elves that keep moving around and destroying stuff in the house. And then this coming with tomorrow now with the UK. So Friday night, we've got a party going for Lindsay's mum. She's 60. Saturday, Lindsay's out all day. She's taking her mum to a spa, which is one of the presents. And then Sunday's my birthday. So yeah.
Happy early birthday, Mr. Sean.
Yes.
What are you doing for your birthday?
Well, we're going out for a meal. So this last few days has been very food orientated. Brazilian steakhouse tonight, smokehouse barbecue tomorrow night, and then some bistro-y style pub grub Sunday. So yeah,
that's awfully sounds so good. Oh my gosh. Oh,
and then it's Christmas. We're on the wind down to Christmas. So
it's only the 14th. We'll chat Christmas traditions next week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Christmas traditions and gifts to buy the avid Xbox player.
It's a good idea. Yeah, we'll chat about gifts. Meant to do that this week. Forgot. My bad. Yeah. Well, that sounds right. Yeah, the gifts. We have a matrix of gifts. We're going through the stuff. We're trying to make sure we get everybody's final shindig done. Man, it's tough. It's I'm buying for my kids, but now I'm also my grandmother, who's 89, bless her heart, absolutely an amazing woman. She was like, "Listen, honey, here's my budget. I don't understand. I don't know what your kids want. I don't know what you want. If you could just buy some stuff for them and wrap it for me, that would be great." So I'm just like, I love you, Grandma. I will do that for you. But it's now I'm buying for my family for me, and I'm buying for my family for B, and what we call my grandmother. And so it's ooh, so much stuff. But she's a wonderful woman. and she's fantastic. And so yeah, there's just a lot of stuff, a lot of buying, a lot of events, a lot of programs. We went to Candlelight, Carols by Candlelight last weekend. We got a cantata we're going to. There's just always lights are going up. Sean, I bought lights. Here's after the rest of that. That doesn't matter. Here's the most important thing. I bought these permanent house lights. They go under the soffit. Okay, they go under the soffit, and they connect to your phone. I don't know how I got my wife to agree with this because they were not cheap. And you can make them. I told her, I was like, we keep them up year round. We can use them for Valentine's Day, for Easter, for 4th of July, for Mother's Day, Father's Day, whatever. We can put them on whenever we want. I am super excited. I'm putting them up tomorrow, and I will take a picture of my house with them.
So you're telling me that you're going to have one of these houses that like can flash and change to music?
Actually, I didn't even know it could, but it can. Yeah, I can literally. I don't know how it does it. I don't know how it knows, but yeah, you can put it, and I put it to the music, and I put my phone up, and it was like, it started. You could do it like extreme beat or just like a little bit, and it'll change. I can change each individual light on this thing. There's like 80 some lights. It's 100 feet. And I can go onto my phone and change the color of each individual light. And I can make them blink if I want to, not blink. It's crazy. But it's fun. And I'm like totally psyched to put this thing up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things at this time of year is to watch American Homes. It always seems to be American. Like them go into music. So like when it's been Rain of Blood by Slayer and stuff like that, or Master of Puppets from Metallica and things like that, and then just Christmas songs and stuff like that. I absolutely love watching those videos because you guys kill it. So
definitely. Sorry, I not gonna lie, I got a little I'm talking to Tim over here, and
yeah, Tim dropped in. Anybody that's Tim dropped in.
Tim the Nintendo Dad
to say hi.
So I
was waiting for Justin because
type him something.
Yeah. So they were he came in to watch and chat while he was waiting for Justin so they could start their show, which is the Nintendo Dads. So he says he wishes a happy holidays. So happy holidays, Tim. Happy holidays, everybody at the Nintendo Dads. Hope you have a good show.
We love you. I'll listen to you tomorrow, more than likely, on my drive home. Yeah. So lights. That's my current, like, I am super pumped to get these things up. That's what I want. That's what I want to do.
Sweet.
I will take a picture and I will send it to you once they're up. So.
Yay. I like this. It's like show and tell. This happens all the time between me and Nick. It's always a little bit of show and tell.
For sure. Other than that, I have Christmas stuff I'd love to chat about, but I can't because it'd be my luck that the little ones above me would not be doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is snoozing away. And then I would give stuff away.
I have the only thing I have an update on is, remember we spoke about the package that got put in our household waste bin. Yeah. So we got the money back. We were back and forth between the delivery company and the seller because the seller was only a small business. We were back and forth between those. We weren't getting anywhere. So like Lindsay got annoyed. She was like, I'm just going to start a claim with Amazon. I'm just going to go straight for Amazon. Within 48 hours of us going for Amazon, the money was back in our account.
Nice.
They were great. We then purchased the same laptop again, but we got my dad to purchase it with his Amazon account. So, it didn't look like it was coming to the same address and stuff like that, because we didn't want to then have further problems with the company. So,
sure.
Sounds like a really crappy thing to do, but we were trying to cover our own backs. No. Off the back of that, we got a Ring doorbell, which is absolutely awesome. If you haven't got a Ring doorbell, they are brilliant for packages and basically keeping an eye on the front of your house. I'm probably a bit late to the game with this, but hey, Chewy. But how am I going with this? So yeah, we purchased the next laptop. We've got that laptop. Super happy about that. We got a letter the other day, so I'm assuming that the seller is still battling the delivery company. So we had a letter from, I think, their insurance broker to sign to say that we were happy for them to conduct the investigation on their behalf, and that we didn't receive the package. It wasn't in our possession. So, like, that argument between them is still ongoing, and we're kind of like, oh well,
yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's
not my problem now.
That's right. Amen. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you there. I do not have a Ring doorbell yet. We've been talking about getting one for a plethora of reasons. I have a friend who has like 17 cameras. That's an exaggeration. It's more like 5. But he has like 5 cameras up at his place, and he's like, "You should really have a camera." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know, whatever, man. So, so I might. We've been thinking about getting one.
The thing that always put me off was because, like, we have the front of our house, we have a short drive, which is enough to park one car on, and then it's like you're straight to a footpath. So I kind of put it off for ages because I thought it's going to constantly go off and tell me that somebody's walking in front of the house. It does go off quite often to tell me that somebody's walking in front of the house, but that tends to be for the next door neighbor's kid who walks across all the drives and the paths to walk to their own house. But
freaking kids.
But yeah, the app is really cool. The Ring app is really cool. You can set motion zones and stuff like that, and you can set it for packages. So like if a like somebody from the post office comes and like they're posting something, it recognizes that they have a package and it alerts you to a package being around and stuff. Just a really cool piece of tech, which I wish I'd have got ages ago.
Sure. That's cool. Yeah. Now I'm wondering if I should get one.
Also makes for really funny family videos. So like Jaya came home from college the other day, and like the cat was there, so she picked the cat up and then she made the cat wave.
You sent me that. That was good. This is my last story, and then I'm done. I got nothing left. I told you this already, Sean, but I feel like I need to share it with the listeners. Today I went to the gas station and I paid for gas. I know that's not that big of a deal. But I went to get a pop, and I was just walking down the aisle, one of those things, and they got me, right? I'm walking down the aisle, I look at the thing, and I'm like, beef stick. Man, that sounds good. It's just sitting there in its little, boxy thing. So I grab it out, and then I go and get a pop, and I'm, walking, and I'm behind this guy. I don't know. He's got a problem or something, and so he's just, taking a lot of time. And so I'm sitting there with my Coke Zero and my beef stick, and I'm like, I wonder, I'm sitting here thinking about my life choices. And so I'm like, I wonder how many calories are in this beef stick. So I flip it over. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I've never known a beef stick to not give you calories or nutrients or what's in it. And so then I flip it over to the other side, and I'm just looking at it. It looks like a beef stick. One, it's the long tubular kind and you just pull this
a Slim Jim.
Yeah, exactly. You just pull the two sides apart, and that's exactly what it looks like. And so I flip it over, but it's there's nothing there. It doesn't really say. And then down at the bottom, in very small print, is a paw print that says, "From us to your dogs, a dog treat for your pooch," or something like that. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to eat a dog treat, like a dog Slim Jim, and so I just there's a shelf of just totally not where I got it from, but I'm totally appalled at what about happened, and so I'm I just put it on the shelf I almost ate dog jerky. I don't even really know, I don't even really know what to say about this. So I did it, but it almost happened.
The thing is, if it wasn't for the guy that was in front of you that was having
yes
an issue, you'd have purchased that. You'd have got in the car and picked. I wonder how far into it you'd have got before you realized.
My wife said you wouldn't even have noticed, and she's probably not wrong. She's probably not. I probably would have just ate that whole thing and been like, "That's a weird cheese stick, but it's not the worst I've ever had. I could totally see this."
So what's going to happen when we get off this podcast, everybody? Is Nick's going to go lick his balls and go to bed?
Man, you got to sign off. That's it. It doesn't get. You can't top that, and probably don't want to.
No, not at all. So anyway, thank you very much, folks, for listening. As always, everything is at Game Pass tracker. That's across all the social sites. If you want to email us, you can do that. show@gamepasstracker.com. Don't forget, next week you can join us Tuesday evening, similar time to this evening, for the next podcast. It'll be episode 132. And like I said, we're going to talk about Christmas editions, what you can buy the Avid Xbox game player for Christmas, plus a whole host of all different kind of news, and hopefully some great news about games that have come out. So until next time, everybody, we shall see you later.
See you later, guys.